Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Here's Eddie Frederick.
Welcome to Caribbean Perspective. So glad you can join us. The story that dominates in today's edition for Tuesday, 22nd July 2025, and brought to you in association with our friends at Antillian Group. The ECCB Monetary Council Chairman, Antigua and Barbuda's Prime Minister Gaston Brown, announces reforms amidst Governor's House hubbub. Details after this important message.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all, perils big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so glad to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
The hurricane season is now upon us, so we as Caribbean people need to remember to think safety and be prepared. Avoid venturing outside during a storm or hurricane, especially if there are strong winds. Rooftops and other debris are often blown about and can cause great damage.
Welcome back. The Eastern Caribbean Central Bank Monetary Council has agreed to governance reforms in the wake of the controversy over the spending on the central bank governor's official residence in St. Kitts. Prime Minister Gaston Brown of Antigua and Barbuda, who is the new chairman of the ECCB Monetary Council, says the bill of quantity for the residence was flawed, as the bid which had been accepted fell well below the other three. He says the winning bid was a significant outlier, and the quantity surveyor should have identified this anomaly. Prime Minister Brown says the Monetary Council had been caught off guard about the spending on the project, as this was being handled at the level of the board and experts. He says this will change going forward, as certain expenditures will be brought before the Monetary Council before they can proceed.
There's also a requirement, for example, that any project in excess of $10 million, that it should be fed up to the council, and they must get no objection from the council before they pursue any such project. Now, the idea is not for the council to micromanage these projects. I mean, we expect that between the consultants that we employ and the board of directors and so on, that they have the competence to manage these projects. But at the same time, we are strengthening the reporting mechanisms.
In other news, Minister of Planning, Economic Affairs and Development of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Kennedy Swarat-Singh, is assuring the public that the establishment of a World Bank office in Trinidad and Tobago will not compromise the country's financial independence. Sunil Lala of TTT News provides some details.
What we are doing is that we are not going, or we're not bringing them here to put our balance sheet or to create any sovereign space. They will bring a lot of technical cooperation and so on for us.
Minister of Planning, Economic Affairs and Development, Dr. Kennedy Swarat-Singh, is reassuring citizens that the World Bank's potential presence in TNT is seen to be something positive for the country. Earlier this week at the TNT Chamber's Business Outlook event, the minister announced that the World Bank was on the verge of establishing a permanent office in Trinidad and Tobago. Speaking to TTT News at the Trade and Investment Forum, TIC, he alleviated some of the fears that may be brought on with the World Bank's presence locally.
They will bring a lot of technical cooperation and so on for us. But our primary focus is that IFC especially, and there's an agency in the World Bank called MEGA. So MEGA would bring that sovereign guarantee to different projects.
He pointed out that the World Bank's International Financial Cooperation and Multilateral Investment Guarantee Agency will help de-risk private sector investments without burdening the state.
The World Bank, like the other IFCs, bring tremendous value, both from a technical capacity as well as their balance sheet is a large balance sheet. I mean, they invest in $60 billion globally. So why would we not want some of that here?
Minister Swarat said the goal is to reduce reliance on government guarantees and create a more sustainable financing model.
Can't keep putting our sovereign space or sovereign guarantees to support that. We have to create a better system where guarantees can come from different sources, even guarantees against FX or foreign hedge. But those guarantees and access to that capital is best targeted or best made available to the private sector. So no, I think we all should embrace it.
He said Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar is fully behind the plan to make the private sector the engine of economic growth.
And so with the IFC and MEGA, that the private sector, both locally and internationally, will have access to capital and the manufacturing sector for that in particular. So my hope or our expectation, and especially the Honourable Prime Minister, is that we will not just say we want to encourage business to thrive. We want to create the environment, the operating mechanism, as well as access to capital that will allow business to thrive.
And Minister Swarat noted that the partnership with the World Bank could have started years ago.
To be honest, the World Bank has been trying to come here probably in the last 4 or 5 years. And the last Minister of Finance was not keen. And for whatever reasons, they did not pursue it.
The minister stated that the Chamber of Industry and Commerce, AmCham, as well as the TTMA, were also part of meetings when the World Bank was recently in TNT, adding that others would have also accessed IFC financing outside the government. Sonolala, TTT News.
In another but related item out of Trinidad and Tobago, jail is jail. Those were the words from current Police Commissioner Alistair Guevara responding to an overnight legal challenge questioning the relocation of a detainee to a secure facility as Trinidad and Tobago observed its first night under the declared state of emergency. Sunil Lala again of TTT News reports.
In the early hours of Saturday morning, legal representatives for a detainee filed an urgent habeas corpus application before the High Court. The detainee, who had been transferred from the maximum security prison in Naruka to another secure facility, was seeking to be returned to his original location. The court, however, dismissed the application in its entirety and ordered the applicant to pay legal costs, a ruling that the TNT Police Service said affirms the legality of the police's operational decisions during the state of emergency. In response to the court ruling, Police Commissioner Alistair Guevara stated that jail is jail. One secure facility is just as effective as another. He questioned the motives behind the legal action, suggesting there may be more to the request than meets the eye, quoted as saying, "Is there something or someone special at the other facility?" The Commissioner said the TTPS maintains its commitment to security and procedural integrity, noting that it is unclear why specific preferences are being asserted regarding detention locations. Meanwhile, in another media release from the police service, Commissioner Guevara urged criminal elements to abandon violence and respect the rule of law. That statement came after an incident that unfolded on Friday night after officers responded to a report of a stolen Nissan Tida in the Enterprise District. The vehicle was spotted and pursued by officers of the Central Division Task Force, but the situation escalated when the suspect opened fire on the officers. The TTPS said in accordance with its use of force policy, officers returned fire, wounding the suspect. He was transported for medical attention, but later succumbed to his injuries. A firearm was also recovered at the scene. And in response to this latest incident, Commissioner Guevara issued a stern warning to criminal elements. He urged them to surrender peacefully when they are confronted by police officers, warning criminals, "Do not challenge them, it will not end well for you." The TTPS also encouraged the public to remain calm and cooperative as the state of emergency continues. Sonolala, TTT News.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick,
In association with our friends at
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
In a stunning departure from long-standing diplomatic tradition, United States Secretary of State Marco Rubio has directed American diplomats not to comment on the fairness or integrity of elections in foreign nations. The policy change was issued in a sensitive but unclassified cable dated July 17th, obtained by Reuters. Tiana Cole of HGP Nightly News has more.
The directive was reported by Reuters news agency, which said that the department would no longer release election-related statements or social media posts from Washington unless there is a quote-unquote clear and compelling foreign policy interest. Quote-unquote, when it is appropriate to comment on a foreign election, our message should be brief, focused on congratulating the winning candidate, and, when appropriate, noting shared foreign policy interest. The cable stated it was marked sensitive but not classified. The memo further instructed diplomats to avoid making any comments on the legitimacy, fairness, or democratic values of the electoral process in other nations. It also emphasized that any election-related messages should come directly from the Secretary or State of Department's official spokesperson. Diplomats were warned not to issue such statements without explicit clearance from senior leadership. Earlier this month, United States Ambassador to Guyana Nicole Theriault told reporters on the sidelines of an event that Guyana Police Force has requested support from the U.S. government as the country gears up for its elections. Ambassador Theriault said officials from Las Vegas or Miami-Dade are expected to arrive in Guyana shortly.
So we're playing a role and we're coordinating amongst all of the missions. We're coordinating with the Private Sector Commission. Anyone who is doing election observation here, CARICOM as well. We're trying to ensure that we're all working together so that we're not redundant and that hopefully every polling station in the country has international observers.
When asked whether she believes Guyanese are heading into a credible election on September 1, Ambassador Theriault said the United States can only provide support where it is needed.
We meet regularly with GCOM, the CEO, the commissioners, the chairwoman, and as they've described the process, we feel that this can be a free, fair, and transparent election. But all of the procedures just simply have to be followed at every polling station in the country. And having those international observers there, having those party observers there is going to be very instrumental in that.
Tiana Cole reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Distinguished public figures from across the region, journalists and other media practitioners joined the family and friends of lifelong advocate for press freedom and regional unity Ricky Singh to reflect on his outstanding career. Tributes flowed at the People's Cathedral Church, where a service of thanksgiving was held for Guyana-born Caribbean journalist. CBC's Anesta Henry has that story.
Esteemed Caribbean journalist Ricky Singh has been remembered as a fearless and influential voice in regional media for over 6 decades, and as a courageous man of integrity who had an unwavering commitment to regional unity and press freedom. Singh's countless articles will be recorded on history's page for decades to come. Antiguan and Barbudan Ambassador to the United States, Sir Ronald Michael Sanders, says Singh's fearless journalism came at a cost, as he reminded citizens of small Caribbean states that words based in truth could confront wrong and demand justice.
Yet hardship only steeled Ricky's resolve. Despite the indignities he endured, including a stinging slap from a politician, Ricky never failed to be generous to the very leaders whose actions he criticized. The question continues to haunt politics and journalism in our region. Who was harmed by that slap?
Journalism is a noble profession that requires dedication, hard work, and a passion for the truth. And thus, good journalists should be dedicated, work hard, and pursue the truth with every passionate bone in their body. Those are the words of former executive editor at the Nation newspaper, Roxanne Branker, who says Singh was one such journalist.
Over the years, politicians and other detractors sought to intimidate Ricky at every turn, but he ignored them and soldiered on. He was fearless, and he worked tirelessly to uncover truths and bring them to light. especially when those truths were hiding behind political masks. Although we didn't see eye to eye on all of his opinions, he always insisted that we must be able to disagree without being disagreeable.
Veteran Guyanese journalist Hubert Williams describes the Saint's death as an irreplaceable loss.
A great friend, godfather of my twin children, confidant, anything I can tell Ricky, anything Ricky can tell me, and we each know when that confidence is displayed, it gets no further.
And the Singh was also remembered as a committed Christian and a true family man.
Now, we are reading stories about him in articles, descriptions of a political force, a refugee, a deportee, for daring to speak his mind. But for us, we knew the man behind the stories. He was simply Grandad, the one who called us friend.
Singh passed away in Barbados on July 5th at age 88 after a prolonged illness. Anesta Henry, CBC News.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean. In the meantime, please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily regional news and more, in association with our friends at Antillian Group.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils, big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so glad to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.